Okay, so Gray is either out on your server or coming out very, very soon. Next reset, if you don't have her already in, well, in game to summon on. She's going to be the second light unit in the game. First supporter light unit. Supposed to come out with Finral, but plans changed and we'll be getting Finral sometime in the future. I'm not really too sure. But Gray herself is an amazing unit, and if you are planning to summon on her, which I don't think everyone should, but if you're missing some supports, for example, like Charlotte, William, Ghost, example, like stuff like that, and then, going for her is not a bad idea. Very good unit, and especially when pick and ban comes out, if you're missing some supports, not bad to have at all. I don't think she's a must summon, but definitely a good pickup that we're going to explain today, just how she works and all her main teams. So Gray, very, very good. Okay, very, very good, and works as a DLT kind of like nullifier while being a DLT enabler, which is very interesting how it works. But it's also very, very, very toxic. So let's get into the build. Obviously, going on Pridewin, because Pridewin's just like that. Always go to Pridewin if you need anything Black Clover mobile related for future insight, and also just tier lists that are usually updated decently quick. So if we go here, right, Gray, light support. Okay, if we go to her stats just to kind of pull this up. In terms of speed, she's not looking bad at all. At 115 speed, it is very, very acceptable. Very acceptable, okay, given what she does. So we're going to start with the ultimate, then work our way through the other skills, and then get to the passive. So the ultimate gives a magic convert a buff. Now this buff is going to last 2 turns, and it's going to have 2 different forms. It's going to have version A and version B. Now, just to kind of quickly show what the icons look like, that's version A and version B, which kind of tells you kind of what you need to know. Version A is going to be a damage reduction being 45%. Now, when you're hit, it converts to magic B. Now, the thing is with B is that it's going to reset the timer cooldown. So let's say you have 1 turn left on magic convert A. It resets to 2 when it goes to B. Then it's going to reset back to 2 when it goes to A. So this buff could last forever. Now at B, it's going to be a 30% damage increase. So you could go basically, like, if you play it well enough, like you could kind of work around this. And I mean, even if you don't have the damage reduction for the whole time that the buff is up technically, because it goes from A to B, you're going to have it for much longer, which is in some cases a lot better. And especially if there's taunts, the supports, even if they were going to not attack, you could attack you now, which could then convert it from the damage increase to the damage reduction if you need it in some cases, or vice versa. Now, what's very nice about the skill, kind of like a Hono, is where she's going to be getting a 30% mobility increase on her ult, which is going to let her use her other skills much quicker. And some cases, this is better. Some cases, this is better. It's going to depend on what team you're running with Gray exactly. Now, her combo, very good in a lot of cases, mainly either with Valkyrie Noelle, in very few cases if it's a solo Valkyrie team, or if you're with Black Asta, because obviously you have defense level 4 on Black Asta is insane. That's a 215, if I remember, 215% damage increase for 210% damage increase for 2 turns on Asta. So that is crazy if you want to go for some like cleave type of Asta team. Now her skill 2 is also as crazy, giving a 100% DLT immunity for 2 turns, which it's very funny because you're going to see later that she enables DLTs. And then also 80% defense increase when an ally is not at 100% defense, so 100% HP. So even if they lost 1 HP, they're going to get an 80% defense buff, which, keep in mind, this defense buff can stack with level defense buffs. So on Black Asta, you could have this plus this, or if Asta uses his skill 2, you could have this plus Asta skill 2 on everyone. And with the skill page, gives defense pen level 2 to all allies, which is a nice damage increase for sure. Defense pen is very good. I mean, you see this do pretty good stuff, especially with William. I think with the William meta, where the William combo meta was very prevalent, it's because of the defense penetration that William gave to Mario AoE, right? Now, her skill 1 is kind of the first showcase of the new effect that we could call it, which I don't know what you call it, DLT copy, whatever. So basically, it duplicates whatever DLT there is on the enemy and adds 1 stack. So if there's 1 burn, poison, and bleed, it's going to make it 2, right? It's going to make it 2. So it's going to add 1 of each. Amazing effect, right? Because especially with Witch Queen, it's going to start really stacking up because Witch Queen has AoE, or even with Magna, like you've seen this before in some showcases where Magna is going to be like already puts a burn at the start of the battle, then it gets to Gray's turn and like you could add another one, right? For example. Now that's kind of what I wanted to talk about, which we're going to talk about right now, is the passives, okay? So I kind of got ahead of myself with explaining the copying, but yeah, as little teaser, it's going to be the LR plus 5. Now, okay, this is where I need to explain. If all the allies besides Gray are either blue, red, or green, you grant all allies DLT immunity. Now, what exactly does this mean? As a small example, this is what it means. So like you have to have 3 of the same color alongside gray, and then that's what constitutes to getting this DOT immunity buff. Now, I would say minimum LR plus 2 if you're not going to use her on mono teams, okay? Because getting this SP plus 1 means you're getting your ult twice as quick, and if you're using it with Noelle, you're getting 4 SP every single turn if you have absolute territory up. 4 SP. She gives herself 2, Noelle gives 2, that's 4 SP, and if you're running Mimosa, that's 5. Okay, so absolutely insane stuff with this. I think this makes her super good, especially when you consider that she increases her mobility on the ult. Very good. Now, her LR plus 5, if you're going to be using the actual mono teams, especially mono red, this is insane. It's going to be copying and adding 1 new instance of dot for every dot present. Okay, so you can add up to 1 stack every single turn, and that's where the mono red with Witch Queen or with Magna goes absolutely crazy, where you could literally add an extra up to 12 dots right away just like that in 1 turn. And then because of this mobility increase, you're going to be adding them quicker than they're going to be getting rid of, and it's going to be extremely good considering how quick of a support she is, and with that mobility increase obviously just being absolutely amazing. So yes, Max Dupe Gray is one of the investments needed if you are planning to actually use her in a mono setting. Okay, if not, I do not believe she is worth it at all in my opinion, especially on mono red. In terms of skill pages, in my opinion, there's 2 real options. This is the main slash, I would say, only option that I consider, where whenever the magic convert changes, she gets a heal. Now, I would say Max Dupe gets really spicy, but if we're being realistic, right, even a 5% heal every time you get hit is pretty nice, okay? I would say, like, really, like, if you get it once, that's great, you get the defense pen. But once you get it to, like, I would say 3 copies in, well, 4 copies in, like, 3 dupes is when it starts getting crazy. Like a 6% heal every time to me sounds very nice, and then obviously it adds a defense penetration. But if you don't get this, just getting the defense increase here is good enough in my opinion. More max duped, but I would say you would want Grays because like 10% heal every time is kind of insane, right? Gray's not a free-to-play character by any means when you're using her at max potential, but if you're just trying to use her as like a run-of-the-mill like support for just a like stand-in support, then it works. Like if you even want to use the HP increase, right, something like that to get an HP increase, or even I feel like there was another one, but I might be tripping. But yeah, mainly like those 3 skill pages are the ones. Anything to increase her survivability, okay? And especially once 2025 comes out, you got to understand that Gray's skill page is going to be insane. Because what? Like, if we look at it, how much HP does my Gray have? 125. Now, this is with a defense build, I believe, which it is in fact. And let's say, right, let's say it's an HP build. 230k HP. That's a that's a 25k heal every time it's her turn. Every time she gets attacked. 25k heal every time she gets attacked, even if it doesn't do damage, is absolutely insane and literally saves games. I have footage of me winning just because of that skill page. So please understand that, yes, it is absolutely crazy to have that skill page, okay? So realistically, without any enchanted talent stones, or what are they called? Like the shiny stones, right? You would be going for this build. Okay, the top doesn't really matter, but like you could put the damage ones, right? Then here I would put defense plus debuff immunity. Okay, this one's going to be a very good combo. And then on the right, I would put the skill 2 chance, cooldown chance, and then also the block. Those are the ones that I would put. Then here, obviously defense. Here HP. Sorry, here's speed. I apologize. Here's speed. So like I don't really have enough, but you would put something like mainly like the best one would be speed HP. If not, just speed is the best, okay? And then if you're going for the enchanted, then yes, you would put speed HP here. This is the only thing I have, but the main one would be speed HP, this one exactly. And then you would put the skill 2 and then the resistance. Okay, I've got the resolution. Something like that. So you would put these 2 together if you have the enhanced talent carve stone, right? Now on the left, I would remain with this, like getting the debuff immunity and also getting the defense is nice. So like you could keep that. If you really want to go for like something special, like go for the defense plus the block. That's like kind of how I would play with the talents. Now, there's 4 main sets that I would run in this case, all right? And it's these 4, okay? Now, let me explain why. I know a lot of people might not be able to get this, so that's kind of out of, like, just off limits. But then, you know, the defense one, if you're running a defense build, and HP one, I guess, if you're running an HP build, all depending. But defense is a lot easier for a lot of people. Speed, obviously, to make her go first, sometimes it can for sure help, okay? Let me give you an instance, right? For example, the enemy Gray is also there, right? There's 2 Grays. The enemy Gray puts her skill 2, giving the DLT block, but you would have been able to increase the amount of stacks of any dot that's already there if you went first. So that's why you want speed in a lot of cases. And then either this one, so that when she ults, she gets mobility and speed, okay, or extra damage reduction if you have the skill page. This one is only if you have the skill page higher level, because Gray's going to be at above 90% HP a lot if she has the skill page higher dupes, right? So for a more lower investment, these are the 3 main ones that I would go for. Well, I guess these 4, 3 of those 4. And then if you're more higher investment, then you could, with skill page, you can maybe go for something like this, right? I think this one would also work out. Okay, now for her build, if you have the skill page, I would recommend building it with HP. All right, building it with HP is the best as long as you have like really good stats. Like the reason I have this is because it was something I was able to build and get transcended quite easily. So please do keep that in mind. All right, now for the substats on an HP build, really defense or HP, it's up to you. What set do you have available? Okay, if you're going for an HP build, then obviously focus on HP. You could put a bit of defense, but I would say HP, crit res are the 2 main stats, and then damage res and defense are the other 2, and that's kind of what you're going to be seeing here. A lot of HP, defense, crit res, and damage res, okay? So that's kind of what you're able to observe from all of these pieces. I've got a respectable amount of crit res, nothing too crazy, but she is light, so remember, she has type advantage, so kind of built-in crit resistance. Now, on the top, going for defense, and then HP is the best, but, you know, that's kind of like best case scenario. So, yeah, these are the sets I would go for, and then you kind of build whatever you can from this, right? These are the 5 sets I would prioritize. HP set, if you have the skill page. Defense set, if you really want to build with the defense skill page, obviously, right? Whatever makes her more tanky, use it for your discretion. If you're not sure, let me know down below, and I will be for sure able to clear stuff up. These are the 5 sets I would prioritize for sure. All 2 pieces, you run 3 2 pieces, and that's kind of how it runs, either like that or like this. It just depends on what you have available, what sets the other units are running, because you have to consider which queen's going to be using an HP set. Black Asta would be using a defense set, so you use what you got for Gray. That's kind of how I see it. Now let's get into our teams. I'm going to explain how every single one of these teams works and when you'll be able to use them. This team, I believe, is exclusively going to be able to be used once level 125 comes out. Gray is going to get a tremendous buff from 125 because she is going to become more tanky, and the units she's being ran with are going to be getting way better. Witch Queen, able to heal a lot more. Magna actually gets his immortality passive, which is going to make him amazing and allow Gray to pop off. Magna applies 1 burn on everyone at the start of the battle, and when it gets to Gray's turn, if you're on the mono red team at her max dupe, well, guess what? She's going to be putting 2 stacks on well, 2 stacks are already going to be on everyone by her turn. Now, this team is going to be, sorry, I apologize. This was not supposed to be there, but technically, yeah, no, I don't know. Skip that over. Now, this is another team that's going to be working very well. And this one, Gray does not need to be max duped in. Okay, it's a cleave team. I mean, obviously, Lotus, like, you just need 2 dupes in Gray, in my opinion. 2 dupes in Gray is fine for this team. How it works, if we're really looking at it, Gray combos into, I guess, skill 2 alt. Asta cleaves, alt, okay? Now, this is the cleave team, right? You alt, give the defense increase. Asta, well, then it's going to be Gray, then Lotus. So he alts, removes buffs, put incapacitate, Witch Queen ult, and then Asta clears, okay? Especially with that defense increase. That is a big defense damage increase. So that is how this team's going to work. Now, this team is just kind of like a knockoff team, right? You could, I mean, it kind of works in this case where, like, this slot could be your support if you don't have another support, which is one of the cases where I'd say you could summon for Gray on if you're really missing a lot of supports, like Ghosh, okay? Like we just saw Mimosa. And I feel like I'm forgetting someone, but I do not know who I'm forgetting at this current moment. But very unfortunate. Mainly those 2, though, for sure. Now, if we're going to this team, bit similar, pretty similar. I mean, just go, like, you know, this team's triple mono red. How it's going to work is you're kind of going to buff the shit out of Gray, all right? So you could either put a lot of turns on Gray or Asta. I'm pretty sure it is on Gray where you use the alt turn 1. Well, and the Rilk is going to mobility increase Gray, give her 2 turns, then you could use the skill 2, and you can't have any dots applied to you, which is going to be very good. So that's kind of how this team's going to work. It's going to work mainly off of these 3 kind of playing well with each other and Asta just being there to kind of support. Now, if you want to use something like this, go ahead. It's not really optimal, but I'm just saying that I'm putting it there as an option. Definitely not an optimal play, but a play nonetheless. All right, so Gray could work as a like kind of a slot just there, sub in certain cases if you don't have other supports, and it could be made very good. I will be posting a lot of Gray showcases, so stay tuned for that. Okay. Gray is a very fun unit in my opinion, and once RTA comes out, it's going to be made even better because she is a very flexible unit. Even if you can't use part of her kit, the rest of her kit is just as good. And remember, one thing I should probably clarify, this buff can be removed, so Lotus kind of makes it hard to really work with against this buff, right? So yeah, Gray, amazing unit. If you got any questions, let me know down below, and if I see it, I'll be more than happy to answer. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye.